Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer versus Jose Mourinho. Who will come out on top? Now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has beaten Jose Mourinho as Manchester United manager, because we did beat Tottenham at Old Trafford last season 2-1, and Jose Mourinho has beaten Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as Tottenham manager, because Tottenham beat us 6-1 at Old Trafford towards the start of the season. Tomorrow, Jose Mourinho will be reuniting with Manchester United. We had Jose Mourinho for 2.5 years. He won the Europa League, the League Cup and the Community Shield. He also got second. I think it was in his first season, so Mourinho did enjoy one good season at Man United. The main explanations why it didn't work out when we had Mourinho is because Mourinho had bad disputes with the board, he had bad disputes with the top players, and in general the board weren't backing the signings he wanted to recommend in. Jose Mourinho recently hit back at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for saying that winning trophies can be an ego thing. Solskjaer did actually say that last month. I'm expecting Tottenham to sack Jose Mourinho at some point. There has been a lot of narratives of Jose Mourinho getting sacked from Tottenham. Jose Mourinho has passed his sell-by date. He has got a good pedigree behind him. He's won 25 major honours in his managerial career. Jose Mourinho has been Tottenham manager over the year. He's under contract with them until 2023. I think Tottenham made a mistake by getting rid of Maurizio Pochettino. Pochettino did well at Tottenham despite him not winning anything. Pochettino was Tottenham manager for 5.5 years, and analysing the vast majority of his tenure, Tottenham were competing in and out of the top 4. And back in 2019, he guided Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final. Maurizio Pochettino was the favourite to take over at Man United at one point. This is when obviously Pochettino was managerless. He held talks with Man United. But Pochettino's obviously out of the equation because he's PSG manager. Jose Mourinho has made a few signings at Tottenham. Obviously last year he brought Joe Hart in. He brought Matt Doherty in. He's actually out with injury at the moment. He also brought Joe Rodon in last year. He brought Holberg in last year. Also brought Sergio Reguilon in. He's made an impact at Tottenham. Also brought Gareth Bale in on loan and brought Vinicius in. Jose Mourinho also brought Steven Bergwijn in. He's a very good player. Brought Giovanni Lo Celso in. I think he also brought Gedson Fernandes in, but Gedson Fernandes is no longer at Tottenham. I think he also brought Ryan Sessegnon in. He's out on loan with Hoffenheim. Tottenham are in the top 4 race. Tottenham have got some good players that could cause us all sorts of problems tomorrow. Obviously, they've got Harry Kane. He's one of their key players. Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof have a job to do at the back. They've got to keep Harry Kane at bay. Human Son, he's another one of Tottenham's key players, and our defence have got to keep him at bay. Lucas Moura, he's another one of Tottenham's key players. Dele Alli, he's another one of Tottenham's key players. Eric Lamela, he's another one of their key players. Harry Winks, he's good. I like Danny Rose for Tottenham. He's a good left back. I think it was last season he was out on loan with Newcastle. Toby Alderweireld, he's a very, very good centre half. We was in for him at one point. Eric Dyer, he's pretty good. Serge Aurier, he's good. Tottenham got him from PSG a few years ago. Davinson Sanchez, he's also good. Ben Davies is quite good. I think actually Ben Davies is out with injury. And Hugo Lloris, he's a pretty good goalkeeper. I think Tottenham did make a mistake by getting rid of Christian Eriksen. They let Christian Eriksen go in January last year. He went to Inter Milan. Eriksen was a long-serving player for Tottenham. He endured 7 years with them. Tottenham drew their last league game 2-2 with Newcastle. Now, the game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium last season was 1-1 between Tottenham and Man United. We've had some very good games with Tottenham over the years. The two best games I recall was the 5-2 game. I think that was back in 2009. We overcome a 2-goal deficit. And the 5-3 game was a good game. I think that was back in 2001. We overcame a 3-goal deficit. We've done business with Tottenham before, because don't forget we got Michael Carrick off them a long time ago, and we also got Dimitar Berbatov off them. We're coming into this game with a lot of confidence, because we recently had a very good win against Granada. We beat them 2-0 in the Europa League quarter-final first leg. We're more or less now into the semi-final of the Europa League. That'll be 5 semi-finals under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But I think it was a pretty good performance against Granada. Obviously the goals came from Marcus Rashford. His goal was superb. Lovely touch and lovely finish. And it was a lovely long ball from Victor Lindelof, who was superb. And the second goal came from Bruno Fernandes from the penalty spot towards the end of the game. We should have actually had more than 2 goals. But yeah, it's 2 away goals. And it was a clean sheet for Man United. The disappointing thing is that Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw and McTominay are suspended for the second leg. Granada would have been very disappointed from their perspective, because it was a poor performance by them. You know, they showed very, very little going forward. I think Granada's best player was Kennedy. He had a few long-range shots, but there were straightforward saves for De Gea. And their best chance of the game was from Herrera when he hit the post. And we won our last league game. We beat Brighton 2-1. Now, we have got some injuries. Marcus Rashford has obviously been injured, but he should be available for tomorrow's game against Tottenham. Solskjaer did say that he's not 100% fit, but he should be available. Rashford's become injury prone because he's sustained a few injuries now at Man United. Luke Shaw, he had an injury against Granada, but Luke Shaw should be okay. And Paul Pogba, he also got a minor injury. Martial, it looks like he's out for the rest of the season. Solskjaer confirmed that not so long ago. Juan Mata's still out. Bay's out due to COVID. And Phil Jones is still out. Earlier on today, I give you my reaction to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference building up to this game, and he did say our 6-1 defeat to Tottenham at Old Trafford hurt our pride. I can assure we will finish in the top 4. There's a very good chance that we'll finish second in the Premier League. But the Europa League is definitely a priority for Manchester United. It's our only chance of getting any silverware on the board this season. If we fail to win the Europa League, we know that Solskjaer's not going to get sacked. So I can assure he will be Man United manager in the summer transfer window, and he'll be Man United manager next season. Solskjaer's got to get his first trophy on the board as Man United manager. You know, he hasn't won a trophy yet, and we haven't won a trophy since 2017. So if we win the Europa League and we finish second this season, I'll turn around and say that represents a good season for Man United, and that gives us something to build on going on into next season. Now, on my recent video, I give you the news on Harry Kane, didn't I? Harry Kane will ask Tottenham if he can leave if Tottenham fail to qualify for the Champions League. Now, it said earlier on this season that Harry Kane had dealt Tottenham a major blow because he refused to commit his future with them. And it says he's delaying his transfer decision until after the Euros. David Ornstein said earlier on this season that he spoke to people in football. He said Harry Kane wants to leave Tottenham because he's unhappy. He said he's committed to Tottenham whilst he's there, but he wants to win the biggest trophies and he's not experiencing this at Tottenham. Now, Daniel Levy, the Tottenham chairman, came out not so long ago and said he's made a transfer decision regarding Harry Kane, and he says Tottenham will not sell Harry Kane to another Premier League club. Now, we'll have to offer at least 120 million to convince Tottenham to offload him. I'd certainly take him at Manchester United because he is regarded as one of the best strikers in the world because he's a prolific goal scorer. His link-up play is good. Tottenham would really struggle without him. They really would. Kane sustained a few injuries at Tottenham as well. He's been at Tottenham for 17 years now. He's been in their senior squad since 2009. Harry Kane has got a contract with Tottenham until 2024. he signed a 6-year deal back in 2018. He has won the Golden Boot a couple of times. He's had a few loan spells before as well with Leyton Orient, Millwall, Norwich and Leicester. Kane is well proven in the Premier League. Now obviously, you know the news on Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland to Manchester United is off following Mourinho Riola's roadshow. The Athletic did say not so long ago that we cooled our interest in Erling Haaland. Because we're looking at 2 other priority deals. He says we want a right winger and a centre-half instead of Erling Haaland. Now, it said not so long ago that we declined to meet Erling Haaland's agent, Mourinho Riola, over discussing a possible deal for Haaland. Mourinho Riola and Erling Haaland's father have already been to England for talks with several Premier League clubs. They've also been to Barcelona to hold talks with them, and they've also held talks with Real Madrid. Not so long ago, Erling Haaland said that he thinks Barcelona love him. The Athletic recently said that we are one of the clubs that can afford Haaland. Dortmund are demanding 150 million. I'd love Manchester United to sign him. The main explanations is because he would assure his goals. He's still young, he's got a lot of development in him, and plus Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows him really well. Solskjaer was the one that gave Erling Haaland his debut at just the age of 16 at Molde, so it would be good to see Ole reunite with the player. Solskjaer said in his press conference prior to the Brighton game that he's played down talks of Man United chasing Haaland, and he said Erling Haaland will make his own mind up. Now, narrative came out a few weeks ago and said that Solskjaer kept calling Haaland to persuade him to join Manchester United. Because he said earlier on this season that Ole was following Erling Haaland's progress and he was keeping in touch with the player. And back in December 2019, Ole and Woodward went to Norway to meet up with Haaland to negotiate a possible move to Man United. And not so long ago, Ole revealed how impressed he was with Haaland's training at Molde. But he made an admission saying that he struggled with bad knees at Molde. Said not so long ago that Erling Haaland is demanding £600,000 in wages a week from his next club. Haaland does have a £68 million release clause, but he doesn't become active until next year. He has been at Dortmund over a year. Dortmund paid around £17 million for him, and he's got a contract with Dortmund until 2024. You already know the news on Jadon Sancho, don't you? We have to submit an exceptional offer if we are to sign Jadon Sancho, because Dortmund have come out and admitted that they will sell Sancho for the right price this summer. And like I updated you recently, Solskjaer has drawn up a 6-man centre-back shortlist. There has been a lot of centre-halves on our agenda. But we do need someone to go alongside Harry Maguire in our backline, someone who will complement him. But the summer transfer window is huge for Manchester United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Not so long ago, it said that Man United will spend big in the summer transfer window, but Solskjaer said he wants to keep transfer dealings quiet. He said earlier on this season, don't forget that we may not do business as usual in the summer transfer window due to the pandemic. But he said he's interested in bringing in players that will be a perfect fit for the club. But I'm expecting us to make around 3 or 4 signings in the summer transfer window. But in the summer transfer window, we're going to focus on the incomings and the outgoings. I reckon Solskjaer needs around £200 million at least in the summer transfer window, if he's to get the players he wants to recommend in. Solskjaer should get the backing he deserves in the summer transfer window because Woodward is standing by Solskjaer. He believes he's the right man to lead the club forward. He released a statement earlier on this season saying that the progress by Solskjaer and the players this season is clear. And in general, Woodward's come out several times to show his support for Ollie, and when was enduring them bad periods, he assured that Solskjaer's job was safe. Like I've mentioned so many times before, our board have a soft stance on Ollie, with him being a legend of the club. And obviously we've got John Murtaugh, he's our Director of Football, and Darren Fletcher, he's our Technical Director. The summer transfer window will be Solskjaer's 5th transfer window. As Man United manager so far, he's endured 4 transfer windows and he's spent almost £300 million. Obviously he's brought Dan James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. Also brought Bruno Fernandes in and Odion Ighalo in on loan. Ighalo left the club in January this year. And he obviously brought Donny van der Beek in, Alex Telles, Edison Cavani, Mad Diallo, Traore and Facundo Pellistri. Will loan Facundo Pellistri out in January. So yeah, he has made good signings, but as yet he hasn't got all the players that he wanted to recommend in, and in that aspect the blame stems from the board. The board's been one of the biggest problems at the club for a while. Main explanations is reflecting how poor our recruitment policy's been. We've overpaid for players, and the managers that we've had since Ferguson retired, in general haven't got the players that they wanted to recommend in. We are going to offload quite a few players in the summer transfer window. It looks like Cavani's going to be leaving. A lot of United fans are saying that we need to sell Anthony Martial. Because he's been out of form for the vast majority of this season. Juan Mata, I think there's a good chance we'll offload him. Donny van der Beek, I think he needs to go in the summer transfer window. The main explanation is because he's not getting enough opportunities at Manchester United. Obviously, there's been talks of a swap deal involving Donny van der Beek and Adrian Rabiot. Pogba could still leave in the summer transfer window. I'm expecting Matic to leave because he's not one of our first choice midfielders. Phil Jones, I'm expecting him to leave because he doesn't get in our team. Axel Tuanzebe, I think he should leave because he doesn't get in the team. Romero, I think he'll leave. David De Gea, he could leave in the summer transfer window. Like updated on my recent video, we may allow De Gea to leave on loan instead of letting him go permanently. Now, it recently said that David De Gea had made his transfer decision. He said he's preparing to leave Man United. And he said the other week we're set to pay off his huge contract. We've set the price for De Gea. It's £50 million. And 3 clubs are chasing him. That's Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid and PSG. De Gea's got like 2 years left on his current contract at Man United and he's on $375,000 a week, which is a substantial amount. Some United fans think it would be a mistake letting De Gea go in the summer transfer window, but I reckon now De Gea's had his years at Man United. You know, he's been at the club 10 years, hasn't he? And I reckon he's had around 8 good years out of the 10 years he's been with us, because in the last couple of years he's been a liability, reflecting on the calamitous mistakes he's made. I think Dean Henderson is now our number one, because he did start our last 7 games in a row prior to the game against Granada. Yeah, De Gea was in net for the game against Granada. I think there's a good chance Henderson will be back in net for tomorrow's game against Tottenham, unless Ollie decides to go with De Gea again. You know the news on Jesse Lingard. Now, The Athletic recently said that we are exploring a swap deal involving Jesse Lingard and Declan Rice after talks on England international duty. Now, it says we have the advantage in Jesse Lingard transfer talks, because West Ham have come out and said they'll do whatever it takes to get Jesse Lingard permanently. We've set the asking price for Jesse Lingard. It's £30 million. He's made a fantastic impact since he's gone out on loan to West Ham. We loaned him out in January. The reason we let Lingard go out on loan is because he lost his place in the team. I think Lingard's current contract expires very soon. Is it end of this season or is it next year his contract expires? I think it's next year, actually. This is Jesse Lingard's 5th loan spell, because before he's been with Leicester on loan, Birmingham on loan, Brighton on loan and Derby on loan. Earlier on this season it said that we was open to a sensational return for Lingard, and he says we could give him a new 3-year contract. But that would be a great swap deal. I'd certainly take Declan Rice for Jesse Lingard. West Ham won't let Declan Rice go unless we bid in the excess of £100 million. He's a good player, Declan Rice, but he's certainly not worth £100 million. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you know, there's still a lot of Manchester United fans demanding him out of the club. Obviously, they've got main explanations why they want Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out, because obviously they don't think he's good enough. But there again, there's still some Man United fans that are Ole in, and they believe he needs more time. I reckon he does deserve another season, but I can assure he isn't the long-term manager for Manchester United. I've already told you my 2 biggest concerns about him. He is the best manager since Ferguson. You know, Solskjaer's been Manchester United manager over 2 years, and I think he has made progress in certain aspects. There's quite a few things we've got to credit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for. Like I've said, he's made good signings since he became Man United manager. He did well last season in his first full season. He guided us to 3 semi-finals, got us qualification for the Champions League and got us a 3rd place finish. The second highest we've finished since Ferguson. You know, this season, which is his 2nd full season and 3rd season, he got us to the EFL Cup semi-final, got us to the FA Cup quarters, and we're more or less into the Europa League semi-final. Like I've already mentioned, that's 5 semi-finals under Ole. We've enjoyed good periods under him where we've seen consistency. Before the game against Leicester in the FA Cup quarter-final, we went 14 games unbeaten. Went on a 19-game unbeaten run in all competitions last season, was 14 unbeaten in the Premier League. Got a very good away record in the Premier League. We haven't lost away from home in the Premier League for over a year. You know, Solskjaer's got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he's come in. I also like the way he has promoted the youth. We are 2nd in the Premier League. At one point, he got us top of the Premier League. That's when we was in the title race. But there was a period where we dropped too many points, so that's why we're no longer in the title race. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is our 4th permanent manager since Ferguson. The 3 managers that we've sacked since Ferguson retired was David Moyes. We sacked him after 10 months. He's the worst manager we've ever had. We finished 7th under the Moyes era. That's the lowest we've finished in the Premier League era. We sacked Van Gaal after 2 years, despite him winning the FA Cup. And we sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years. We've brought around 37 players in since Ferguson retired. Under Moyes, we brought just 2 players in. That was Marion Fellaini and Juan Mata. Louis van Gaal, he brought a good 15, 16 players in. You know, he brought the likes of Sneijderlin in, Sebastian Schweinsteiger, Di Maria, Falcao, Rojo, Darmian, Martial, Shaw, Valdez, Romero, Herrera. So, they're a lot of the players Van Gaal brought in. A lot of the players that Van Gaal brought in are no longer at the club now. And Jose Mourinho, he recommended 11 players into Man United. Solskjaer is inheriting players from other managerial eras. And in the last 8 years, we've spent over £1 billion on players. But mistakes have been made in the last 8 years, and that's why we haven't been as consistent as we'd like to have been. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013. You know, that's 8 years ago now. I don't think Solskjaer's good enough to lead us to a Premier League title, sorry. But yeah, we haven't been the same team since Ferguson retired. You know, a lot of United fans predicted it was all going to go wrong when Ferguson retired. We know Solskjaer's getting a new contract, don't we? I'm very sceptical we'll see out, you know, his new 3-year contract, unless something dramatic happens. So anyway guys, do some more videos tomorrow. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.